Show me the one whose safety deems such destruction. You must reunite it with its own kind.
Where?
This you must determine. The songs of eons past tell of battles between Mandalore the Great and an order of sorcerers called Jedi.
We're expected to search the galaxy for the home of this creature and deliver it to a race of enemy sorcerers.
This is the way.
Welcome to episode 54 of Radio Free Endor and Mando Talk with me and my son Christopher as we do a deep dive week by week into season 2 of The Mandalorian. And this week it's episode 6, chapter 14, The Tragedy. Now we do go into heavy spoilers for this episode, so if you've not seen it, then go and watch it now because it's really, really good on Disney Plus. And then come back. Right, Chris, how are you doing?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm good too, especially after editing the mammoth episode we did last week, which at the time of recording of this one, I'm still editing, and then hopefully we'll bang it out in the next couple of hours.
Well, we had a lot to talk about, especially about the Jedi and how that all comes into perspective.
To be fair, we called a lot of what's in today's episode out as well.
Well, no, I called it out. You said it was going to be a side quest, when I said, no, they were going to go straight into it. There's 3 episodes left. They don't have time.
They hid who directed it and the name of the episode really to the last moment because it didn't even show up on any of the Wikipedias or on the net. It was just when it aired. So this episode is actually was directed by Robert Rodriguez, who directed all the Spy Kids films and Dusk Till Dawn.
People will know him a lot for my personal 2 favourite films that he created, Sin City and Alita Battle Angel.
Yes, that was great, that Alita Battle Angel. Fantastic film. I wish they'd make a sequel to that. And of course the Sin City films, yeah.
So let's get into the synopsis. If we were to go by the synopsis on Disney Plus, it is literally the Mandalorian and the child carry on their adventure, and that's it.
Is that it?
It's pretty much that. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's literally very just like, yeah, nothing happens in this episode, don't worry. It's just chapter 14. I don't even think it says the tragedy. But it was very much that thing where, you know, I sat down and turned it on, started watching it, the title appears saying chapter 14, the tragedy, and then I go, hold up, something's gonna happen here.
Yeah.
Something, you know.
Yeah.
So the synopsis is the Mandalorian Jin arrives with Grogu on the planet of Tython and finds an ancient temple, or is it more of an ancient radio tower? You decide. On top of a mountain. He places Grogu at the center so that he may choose his path. Grogu starts meditating and a protective force field appears around him, but he's not the only one who makes their way to Tython. So what's your initial thoughts to the episode?
Oh my god. I did tweet on Twitter that this is the order that my feelings went for this episode. Was, oh, amazing. Oh, this looks fantastic. What the? Oh my god. Oh no! No!
So my thoughts were just, it's great Mandalorian wears a helmet because it truly hides his emotions.
Yeah, right.
I wonder if there's a mute button on that helmet.
Yeah, this could have actually been on the tail end of the Jedi, because it's quite a short episode as well, isn't it, Chris?
Yes, it is. 27 minutes, I believe, without titles and credits. But before we go in to the episode, let's quickly talk about the director of Robert Rodriguez. If you didn't know, I am a young 24-year-old in this planet of Earth, and when I was growing up, Shark Boy and Lava Girl and Spy Kids were some of my favourite films growing up.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, Robert Rodriguez has filmed a sequel that is coming out on Christmas Day in the UK to Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Shark Boy and Lava Girl are now parents, right? And it's called We Can Be Heroes. And the father is no other than Pedro Pascal.
No way.
Yeah, it's coming out on Christmas Day. It's going to probably be really good if Robert Rodriguez has directed it after what we've seen him from The Mandalorian.
So, Shark Girl is now got her own kid, and Shark Boy's got their own kid. Or are they both together?
They're both together.
And it's Shark Kid.
No, it's Shark Boy and Lava Girl became parents of 2 children.
So, Pascal is actually Shark Boy.
Yes.
He wasn't in the original, was he?
I don't think so. He wouldn't have been 10 years old 10 years ago.
Yeah, and do you know, it's on Netflix, isn't it?
Yep. So the adventures in Shark Boy and Lava Girl, the original Shark Boy was actually Taylor Lauren, who played one of the werewolves in that Twilight film.
Ah, right, yeah.
But it is the same actor that's playing Lava Girl, Taylor Dooley. So they've replaced Taylor Lauren with Pedro Pascal as Shark Boy.
Yeah.
So maybe that's how it crossed.
Yeah.
You do this for me, I'll do that for you. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to catch out the original, because that was the period where Robert Rodriguez went through a lot of green screens. He just wanted to do like live action, but with a lot of CGI backgrounds, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, with his Spy Kids and as well as that.
But
yeah.
that were kids' films, and at the time that was...
I'm sure it came out in 3D as well.
It did?
Yeah. I think I took you to see this, actually.
I think you probably...
I think I did. I think I took you and Sam to see Shark Boy and Lava Girl at the cinema in Leicester, and we watched it in 3D because I was a big 3D fan. So anything in 3D, I would have gone and seen.
It is still a kids' film, but then again, it looks very much like Shark Boy and Lava Girl, with all of its quirks and charms. Has been updated for 2020.
Cool. Christmas Day, did you say?
Yes. It comes out on Christmas Day.
Are we going to watch that, or we're going to watch Wonder Woman? Because that comes out on Christmas Day as well.
Only if you've got Sky, I believe, though.
Yes. Let's get on with this episode.
So back to the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, let's get into this one. So the Mandalorian takes Grogu round to the hot spot on this planet that looks very Jedi-ish, especially how he goes, well, it looks like it. Yeah, it is it. It's like the call center to the Jedi universe.
There's one thing that I really did want to highlight from the introduction before they landed and Grogu sat on the stone, was that for once they circled the site, and there was a really nice shot of looking through one of the lower windows at the site as they were circling. I.e., like, the cockpit had more windows, so it had upper windows and lower windows, so you could obviously look down. I thought that was a really nice shot. A very, aerial shot of plane, you know? So, it was really, really good.
Very Lord of the Ringsy.
Yes.
Looks like that's the magic rock I'm supposed to take you to down there. Sorry, buddy, I can't land on the top. Too small. Looks like we're gonna have to travel the last stretch with the windows down.
And he puts him on the spot, and he's like, "Wow, what should we do now?"
Well, I guess this is it. Does this look Jedi to you? I guess you sit right here. Okay, here we go. This is the Seeing Stone. Are you seeing anything? Or are they supposed to see you? Maybe there's some kind of control or something. Oh, come on, kid. Ahsoka told me all I had to do was get you here and you do the rest.
I'd just like to say, is it a temple, a site, or, as I would like to say, a Jedi radio tower?
Yeah, it's a Jedi radio tower, isn't it?
Anyone around?
And then you hear what sounds like a ship approaching. Then all of a sudden, boom! Grogu's in the moment.
Time's up, kid. We gotta get out of here.
Creates this force shield as he's sending out a signal. A bit like
We don't
E.T.
have time
without
for
the
this.
radio.
We gotta get... Hey, step out of it, kid. We gotta get out of here. see if I can buy you some time. Can you please hurry up?
Go on, Chris. What happens now?
Well, some farmers appear. Some, you know. So, you know, no, I'm just kidding. The Mandalorian sees a spaceship, and it's not only Slave One.
Slave One. I was like, what? Slave One? We only said last week, where is Slave One?
I told you. Boba Fett, he would be back. They're not just going to keep his armor on the Razor Crest for no reason. So, yeah, Grogu got placed on the Seeing Stone. I guess you could say it could be something similar to. But obviously, like Luke, it wasn't just about sitting on the stone. He had to first touch the stone and connect with the Force through it. Then he got to the meditating position, as all Jedi like to. But he didn't hover. That's only a Luke power right now.
Yeah, that Ryan Johnson right there for you.
So Mandalorian puts him down, and he then sees Slave One. But he doesn't know it's Slave One. Only the Star Wars fans.
The 40,000 million fans all just jumped out the seats and gone, Jeez!
Only the fans know it's Slave One. And you see it come down, land. Not next to Mandalorian's ship, though. He lands somewhere else.
Lucky. That was lucky, yeah.
He lands somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
You know, go to this different site. And so the Mandalorian's like, hostile. He could have been a farmer or something, but you know. Yeah. Mandalorian treats everyone as a hostile, you know.
I actually thought the Mandalorian thought, cool, that was quick. How quick is that?
So he goes down, and it's not only Tamaya Morrison. Standing there, being a simple man, making my way through the galaxy.
I've been tracking you, Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's exactly the quote that his dad said once.
But the most interesting thing that I thought was how he said Tatooine. Because he didn't say Tatooine, he said Tatooine, like Tatooine or something like that.
Yeah, it was kind of strange, wasn't it? Tatooine.
Tatooine. Yeah. I guess when you're from the down under, that's how you pronounce it all. But first, he looked quite like a Jedi, obviously. I thought he looked like a Jedi. He looked
the Mando thought, got cloak on, automatically Jedi.
Are you Jedi? Or are you after the child?
Like, yeah, that was fast. Jedi already here.
Anybody that wears cloaks, they're either in two fractions. They're either a Jedi or they're wizards.
Or they're Siths.
Yeah.
So he obviously, starts communicating.
I'm here for the armor.
If you want my armor, you'll have to peel it off my dead body.
I don't want your armor. I want my armor. That you got from Cobb Van back on Tatooine. It belongs to me.
Are you Mandalorian?
I'm a simple man making his way through the galaxy. Like my father before me.
But straight away, when he says, that's my armor, and he goes, oh, did you take the creed? No. I was thinking, ooh, the Assassin's Creed?
He says,
did you take the creed?
I give my allegiance to no one.
The Beskar belongs to the Mandalorians. It was looted from us during the Purge.
The armor was my father's. Now it's mine.
What's to stop me from dropping you right where you stand?
Because I have a sharpshooter up on that ridge.
Because there's a shooter that's aiming at baby Grogu. Boba Fett decided to not come alone.
I'm the one wearing Beskar. As soon as I see that muzzle flash, you're both dead.
I didn't mean she was going to shoot you. My friend's locked on to that little companion of yours up on the henge.
And if you remember, I don't miss.
Fennec?
You have a keen ear, Mando.
Who did he bring?
Fennec Shand, who was the sharpshooter from the episode The Gunslinger in Season 1. Now, when we spoke about this last time, Chris, about Season 1, we said that was Boba Fett because only he walks with spurs. So, yes, the fans called it right there. That was Boba. He saved her. And not only did he save her, he converted her as well.
Into a mole.
What? She just got shot in the chest. You know what I mean? And he's replaced all her internal organs with pistons.
But his paragraph was some of the best writing I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, good job he's got that hyperspace tracker on that Slave One. That's not meant to be made for a few years, you know?
Yeah, he's been keeping a very close eye on the Mandalorian. Knew exactly where he was going all the time.
I said, he's not far behind. It's only a matter of time.
Well, he's been lurking, isn't he, Chris? He's been going around lurking. He was that guy in the jeans in the episode where they went to Novell, you know, that people spotted. He was lurking. So he's been there, keeping an eye on the Mando.
You point that gun away from the kid, or I'll drop you both where you stand.
Yeah, but because he actually thinks that she's aiming the gun at him, which she's not. She's aiming at
And he's like, I've got this plot armor. Look, it's really good. Don't you worry. It'll deflect all the shots.
Plot armor at 100%.
Let's all put down our weapons. Have a chat. There's no need for bloodshed.
Tell her to drop the gun.
After you put down the jetpack.
Same time.
Stand down.
And then they go, hey, let's all calm down.
Whoa. Just chill out,
You
man.
know, we'll put down the guns. And this is the one thing in this episode that I don't get. Putting down the guns is one thing, but why you gotta put down the jetpack? What's a jetpack gonna do?
I said the same thing. I was like, eh? Because he says, let's just put our weapons down. I'll put mine down. You drop the jetpack. I was thinking, why? Obviously, he's going to need that at some point.
More so he wouldn't run off with his ship. Bad enough for you. I'm going for your ship. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I just want to go back. Mandalorian goes, you were dead.
You look like you've just seen a ghost.
You were dead.
And then Boba says, and this was the most badass quote that I know I've seen in Mandalorian was,
She was left for dead on the sands of Tatooine, as was I. But fate sometimes steps in to rescue the wretched.
In my case, Boba Fett was that fate.
Yeah, it's good writing, that. Well, it's written by Jon Favreau, so it's really good. Yeah.
And he has an offer.
I want my armor back.
It goes against the Mandalorian creed.
The armor was given to my father, Jango, by your forebears. In exchange, I guarantee the safety of the child, as well as your own.
The bounty on your little friend has risen significantly. You can buy 10 suits of armor for the price on its head.
Say we're offering a fair deal under the circumstances.
For the armor, I will guarantee the safety of the child, as well as your own.
That's some good armor. That's a good price, that.
Exactly. And Fennec says you could buy 10 suits of armor for the price on Grogu's head.
Yeah, the bounty is upped. It's gone up, right up. I'm surprised when she said that. I'm surprised there's not more bounty hunters looking out for him. You know what I mean? Coming for him. But the story has to move along. You can't just go to one planet and he has to deal with more bounty hunters.
But you never know that you could look in deeper and say, well, Boba's just been shooting them all down on the way to him. You know?
Yeah, true, yeah.
The third ship in the stack. Shooting down the second ships to make sure, like, it moves forward.
There. Yeah. You know, why it's all like hellos and discussions, they're interrupted by a troop transporter that comes in. So it's like, you know, they turn around and it says, the child. So instead of picking up his jetpack, which I would have done, he legs it back, doesn't he? He legs it back to Grogu.
Yeah.
And it's up to Fennec and Boba to take out these stormtroopers. And that's when this episode just went, let's whack it into high gear. We're going for it.
Time to go, kid!
We're skipping ahead a little because I just want to go back to the first time Jin tries to pull Grogu out the force field.
Yeah, go on.
The sound design was incredible.
Yes.
Really, really good in this episode. The sound design was amazing. And we're going to go into details about that in a little bit, obviously, with different scenes and how the score reacts to that. In terms of story, there's one thing that if I really was to nitpick, it's Mando tries to grab Grogu for the first time and gets chucked out and decides, this time's going to be different.
Yeah,
And he
does it three times.
He does it 3 times.
Yeah.
And gets knocked out at one point.
Yeah, the first one just chucked him back because he goes, oh, I'll cover you. Then he goes, oh, we've got to go. Oh no, we can't go. Oh, I'll buy you some time.
It's very much the the heads-up display has now changed from go to the objective, defend the objective, defend the objective, update, defend the objective.
Yeah. It is proper. This episode is proper capture the flag, isn't it? Or funny you should say that, right? Nicholas is in the other room right now playing Fortnite, and he's just bought the Mandalorian Battle Pass, where he's playing the Mandalorian. He's got the Razor Quest is his little kite thing that he flies down to the planet, and the quest is capture the flag, innit, or something like that. So this episode is proper like capture the flag.
Disney's making a lot of money on Mandalorian.
God damn, they are, man. God damn, they
are.
are.
But the question is it a kids' TV show?
This episode, I was going to say, is this episode a different rating than the last one? Because this one's really violent. You know what I mean?
Well, it's kind of, but violent ratings, if you didn't know, change depending on how much blood is shown, or how much damage is shown, how many scars, how much torture is shown. But this episode's very clean on the amount of torture and blood, but the damage is
the damage. Yeah,
the damage is up there, and we'll go into that in a minute.
Because who would have thought? Because I thought a gaffer stick was a toothpick, right? Because they were using it to clean the teeth of a bantha on Tatooine, right? But no. Boba shows you what a gaffer stick can actually do.
Well, but we start seeing the troops unload off of the troop carrier.
Mine with Saving Private Ryan, that did.
Yeah, it had good references to that. But one of the main things that I noticed that I don't think we've really seen before, we have seen them before, but we saw Stormtrooper Specialist, Stormtrooper Artillery. Yeah. And we also saw a Stormtrooper Commander actually commanding.
Yes, actually commanding. Yeah.
Telling
over there.
He's like, oh, you idiot. Oh, there, you idiots. Flank him.
Sir, there's too much fire. Flank them, you idiot. Up top. Get up there.
Yeah. But he goes, oh, we're getting shot. Yeah. He goes, just carry on. Boom. You two next.
And I thought, how big are these carriers? Because
I know
the trilogy films make out that, the stormtroopers are all standing there chuck tight in these things, but more and more just seem to keep coming out the same one, and then a second one comes down.
It's called Respawn.
It's called Respawn, yeah. But before that all happens, they start setting up the pulse cannon. And Fennec had it in her sights and didn't shoot because they wanted to take the more dramatic Indiana Jones way down.
The Indiana Jones reference, yeah.
The laser cannon was firing at Fennec, and a mortar hit a rock, and what happened next?
It dislodged a boulder, and then she used her feet to push it down, and it rolled down the hill, crushing everyone. No, everyone ran.
No one decided to take steps to the left or right.
Yeah, they did the Prometheus run, where they run directly in the line of its rolling. Do you know what? I really thought they were going to stick a Wellhoom sound effects, but they didn't in this.
This is why I like this bit in particular, because the funny thing about it, the stormtroopers that couldn't run left or right was the one sitting on the pulse cannon going, "Don't worry, guys, I got this."
I can blast it. I really can. Gonna do it. Nope.
Nope.
Yeah. Nope.
And it takes them all out.
Takes them all out in one go. Yeah.
And then.
Do.
And then, I believe they're now at the bottom of the hill. Boba Fett is at the bottom of the hill, and he sees something catches his eye in the Razor crest, and that is
his armor. His armor.
This was truly Boba Fett.
Yes, this guy, he redeemed himself big time in this episode. He looked absolutely fantastically cool in Empire Strikes Back and in Return of the Jedi, but he did nothing.
He pretty much delivered solo, and that's about it.
That's it. Yeah, fired his laser a couple of times and then went, yeah? But thank God, he's been redeemed.
Yes.
But he does take out an awful lot of the first wave of the stormtroopers. He knocks them on out, and that's when he spots his armor, and then he goes in. But he did not smash some serious skulls.
Oh yes. Yeah, the gaffer stick was the bit. I was like, that was the next bit I was going to speak about, the sound design, because the sound design was brutal. It was crunchy.
If I remember rightly, there was hardly any music in that scene. It was just bang, 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 crunch, crunch, blaster, blaster, blaster.
And the
crunch,
thing is,
crunch,
you
crunch.
saw the stormtrooper helmets crack, just like clean
Yeah.
crack. Like he really did clean up shop.
Yeah. Do you know what? The Empire should get some returns on this armor because it's crap. Who sold them that armor? Yeah. Is this armor blaster proof? Yeah.
Mass production.
Will it take blows to the face? Yeah. No problem. No problem. It works.
See, this is the thing that I guess the Star Wars universe never really talks about, but it's kind of known, is that clone troopers, the original, it didn't really matter if they had armor or not. They were disposable, and it was very much chuck as many clones in as you need to get the task done. You know.
Yeah.
My brother's died. Well, yeah. Well, you got 5,000 more brothers coming tomorrow, so don't worry.
Yeah.
You know. And it's kind of the same thing with the stormtroopers in my eyes. It's it doesn't really matter if that armor actually stops anything or not, because, as this episode proves, the only way stormtroopers are effective is in mass quantity. You know? When there's too many of them, that's when things start, getting a bit too much.
Yeah.
But
that's basically, they probably tell all the stormtroopers, this armor is the best armor you're going to get. But it's not. It's just missold to them. But you're dead right. The Empire just throw as many people as they can at the problem to try and sort it.
And we'll quickly talk about it at the end, about this stormtrooper assault and why different tactics could have been taken. But to carry on, Boba Fett cleans shop with a gaffer stick and then picks up his armor. And why he's doing that, why he's getting the nice chain, getting changed, the Mandalorian, Jin, meets back up with Finnick, and they're now fighting together, starting to get outnumbered.
Outnumbered with shots.
Din shoots his arm rockets off. And some of I've seen some people complain about this online, that it's surely it would be a lot faster. And they're but if it was a lot faster, you wouldn't see anything. So
that's true. Yeah.
It's more just a cinematic aspect of it, of you know. But so and then we truly got to see why Din wears Beskar.
This isn't looking good.
I've seen worse. You can get out of here. I owe you from last time.
We have a deal.
You know?
Yes.
He says, I'll cover you.
Yeah, as in really covering, as in standing in front and taking all the blasts. But it was ding, 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 ding. It was getting, you notice how the dings were just getting faster and faster as they were really shooting at him. Now I was thinking, oh my God.
It pretty much at this point is okay, the Mandalorian, he's literally standing there, getting ding, going ding, 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 and he's just loading his gun, just I'll get it in a minute, ding, 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 loads gun, shoots him in the head, done. You know, useless people. He's getting shot at.
But it was leading up to the best reveal ever.
It then leads in to Boba Fett coming in his jetpack, lands a bit out of shape, but in shape. He's now a muscly old man with a gaffer stick. I wonder where the gaffer stick went. But he has his pistol, he has his rockets, and he has something that only the books have told you about: the kneecap rockets.
I loved how the reveal of him, because you heard his rocket pack in, but you didn't actually see him in, and then you saw him rise in his helmet behind that stormtrooper, and then it was like, oh my god, kick ass straight away.
Yeah, and the point that got me was he killed a lot of them.
He turned around and he shot that guy. He did that, the shooting over the shoulder. You know, he doesn't have to look at them, but he knew they were there. Shot that guy. Oh, and he punched Rocket one. Did you see how he punched the guy? Yeah. And he punched Rocket him and he went straight off. Yeah.
And then he kneeled, shot his knee rockets, and then the rest of the stormtroopers were like, oh, knee rockets? Oh, we're out of here. Retreat. And then the rest of them behind him runs away. Like, whoa, knee rockets. Stay away from that guy. And then he shoots the stormtrooper that gets back up without looking. And this episode, with the sound design, was very much like, now here's the badass moment. Stare. And then they've got Boba Fett slow walking. Don't forget the slow walk. And then what does he do?
Well, he twirls his gun, puts it back in, and then he targets their ship. Because remember, at this point, there's 2 troop carriers because another one landed, and both of them run in. Funny enough, out of the first troop carrier, right, 2 waves of troopers came out. Yeah. Out of the second troop carrier, 1 wave came out. Yet when they all ran back, there were 2 waves running back into the troop carriers. There was enough people to go back into both. So they run in, take off. Boba Fett then selects the target, fires his rocket, and it hits the other. It misses the target, hits the one, but it has the same effect, which looked ultra cool.
And then he turns around and slowly looks at the camera. And we hear the sound effect. I think it's like, or like...
Nice shot.
I was aiming for the other one.
And then Din goes, nice shot. And he goes, I was aiming for the other one.
Yeah. Because you would have, if it... Yeah. You expect... Yeah, that's classic, isn't it? That's a classic sort of line, isn't it? I was aiming for the other one.
And then the moment came. The tragedy. Out the sky, a super cannon shot comes down and it hits the Razor Crest. Blows it up completely.
It did just blow it up. It did what the Rebels did to the Death Star. It absolutely obliterated it. If this was in Rise of Skywalker, he would find the ship just over the ridge.
When we say obliterated, the super cannon shot really did one. There's no recovering from that one. The Razor Crest is gone.
Gone. Yeah, when we say gone,
gone,
it's a crater.
But don't worry, that's a sweet new ride.
To be fair though, he ran up and I was expecting him to go no, but you could tell he was saying it in his head because he ran up to the camera sort of thing to look, which reminded me of like a Spielberg zoom in. You know what I mean?
So then we move to Gideon on the ship.
Direct hit.
Have the Dark Troopers been engaged?
Momentarily.
And he goes, yeah, perfect shot, gone.
Yeah,
and then he goes,
sweet ass shot, done it.
And then he goes, deploy the Dark Troopers. And what do?
Jetpack down, yeah.
This is really funny, because their jetpacks were in their feet.
Feet, yeah. They're like Iron Man.
Yeah, and if you don't know about jetpacks, actual real-life jetpacks, the worst place to have them is on your feet. You're actually better to have them on your arms than your feet.
Yeah. Iron Man... Part 1, the first film, where he sticks him on his feet, doesn't he? And he just goes, Fwah! And he just goes flying. Now, hold on. Whoa. Before you go any further, right? I actually saw a video. Know these Dark Troopers I only remember them actually from the video game Dark Empire that came out years ago. But they actually featured in an episode of Rebels, right?
Yeah.
They were Thorne's droids. He fought them. But saying that, on the last episode of the one called the Jedi, know those 2 sentry droids that were walking around near the magistrate?
Yeah.
Right, on the net, they had an insignia on them, and the insignia was Thorne's insignia.
Yeah.
So it's all connected.
So these Dark Troopers came down. They were flying very fast, I have to say. Very fast. And Din notices them and starts sprinting up the mountain to the Jedi radio tower to get Grogu. And Grogu, the force field went down. The message was sent. And he fell asleep. The Dark Troopers come down, decide to land about, 10 meters out, and slowly walk forward. So, they could have just landed a bit closer, to be fair. Less walking.
But they landed in a perfect circle. Did you notice that?
But a bit slow forward. They could have just closed that circle a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's like, which one's going to grab him? We're all walking at the same speed. Which one's going to get him?
And Grogu, the second tragedy of this episode, is Grogu gets taken, grabbed and took. They fly off. As soon as they grabbed him, Din just gets to the top and sees the child has been taken. Grogu is now in the Empire's.
Yeah, but Slave One's after him.
Boba Fett decided when he saw Din's ship get exploded that he was going to go back to his ship as fast as possible. Because this ain't happening to my ship.
Yeah.
So he flies back and gets.
And he was in hot pursuit. He was in hot pursuit of the Dark Troopers, and I think he was going to take them out. But Din says, "No, don't. Tell him to withdraw."
They've got the baby. Don't let them get away.
Affirmative.
I have a lock. Stop him. I don't want the child hurt.
Abort pursuit. Disengage. Do not harm the child.
Copy. I'll do a loose follow. See where they're headed.
So he goes to look to where they're going,
and he sees Imperial light cruiser.
Did you hear what he said? When Fenwick goes, "Are you sure?"
He goes, "This is not a spy stream. I've seen it with my own eyes."
So does that say he's a drug taker?
How do you think he stays acting? This is not a spy stream.
They're back.
Who?
The Empire. They're back.
That can't be. The Outer Rim is under the jurisdiction of the New Republic.
This isn't a spy stream. I can see the Imperial cruiser with my own eyes. Heading down.
But this shows that, when the Mandalorian says, "Guys, the Imperials are here, trust me," everyone goes, "No, they're not, trust me. They're gone. The New Republic's here, trust me." When actually it's real. They are actually still around,
it is. But did you notice, right, the Gideon had got what he wanted, and he really could not care less, because the Slave One flew really close to that ship, and they didn't even fire at it. Not once.
Have you played Star Wars Squadrons? It takes a lot to take down a capital ship,
Yeah, it is, yeah.
The Slave One's not going to do that, 2 seconds later, as soon as the Dark Troopers were in, off to hyperspace.
Yeah,
gone.
Didn't even leave atmosphere. They were poof, gone straight away.
And then the moment of recognition comes in, where Din looks at the crater of the Razor Crest.
Oh man!
And he picks out 2 objects. All of the objects on the ship was Grogu's first love, the shiny knob, maybe made out of Beskar.
It's got to be really, isn't it?
And,
it's still shiny.
And the Beskar spear. He picks them up, walks back over to Boba, and says,
"This is all that survived."
Beskar.
Pity your ship weren't made of it.
Well, yeah. And then a really good moment in Star Wars history is Boba says, "This armor has the transcription of my lineage on it," and he shows that the armor came from Jango Fett, and Jango Fett's parents was a foundling.
I want you to take a look at something. My chain code has been encoded in this armor for 25 years. See, this is me, Boba Fett. This is my father, Jango Fett.
Your father was a foundling.
Yes. He even fought in the Mandalorian civil wars.
Then that armor belongs to you.
I appreciate its return.
Just like the Mandalorian. He was a foundling as well.
Exactly.
So,
and Din goes, "The job is done. The child is gone. Thank you for your time. Now leave me here." And he goes, No. We are in your gratitude until the child is back.
yeah.
Then our deal is complete.
Not quite.
How so?
We agreed, in exchange for the return of my armor, we will ensure the safety of the child.
The child's gone.
Until he is returned to you safely, we are in your debt.
Wow.
Without talking about the final scene, where do we sit? There's 2 more scenes in the show. We sit with Boba Fett and Fennec in debt, the Wookiee debt to Din. What a team up Star Wars fans did not expect.
God, yeah.
But I said I saw it coming.
Yeah.
Boba
you
wasn't
did.
done. I said Boba would train the Mandalorian at one point. And
Yeah.
this is almost like training in my eyes. But
Yeah, because he's still kick-ass. He really is unbelievably kick-ass. You know, I always pictured in seeing the Slave One. It's great to actually see it in live action. You know, live action in the Mandalorian. So beautiful to see the
Slave One is an amazing ship. I would have thought they would have renamed it Slave 2 when it came from Django to...
No, Slave One. There's always been Slave One. Even when Django had it.
Okay, so Slave 2 was a different ship owned by Boba Fett.
Was it?
Yes, that's what the Wikipedia says. Legends material, though, but it was a second ship owned by Boba Fett, not Django. But yes, it appeared in Dark Empire. There you go.
Yeah, Dark Empire. But he takes that short jump over to Navarro.
And we finally get an explanation what the golden crest seal is of the New Republic. And it's a New Republic Marshal badge.
Cara Dune, Marshal of the New Republic. I heard rumors you might have gone legit.
I wouldn't go that far.
And she says, you know, with them stripes,
Responsibility.
with those, responsibility, yeah.
I need your help.
Name it.
I need you to locate someone in the prison registry.
See what I can do.
Ex-Imperial sharpshooter, last name Mayfeld. Apprehended near the Delestry system on a derelict prison ship.
Miggs Mayfeld. Serving 50 years in the Tython chop fields for springing a prisoner himself. Accessory to the death of a New Republic officer. Sounds like a real piece of work. What do you want with him?
I need to spring him to help me locate Moff Gideon's light cruiser.
And I believe it. She's for the good. But then
He goes, I need your help, and she says, name it.
and then she goes, these stripes, they mean I can't just do anything anymore. And then he goes, the child. She goes, that's all you had to say. Why don't you lead with that? You know?
Should have left with that. Yeah. Straight in there.
You know?
You know how I feel about the Empire. But these stripes mean there are rules I need to follow.
They have the kid.
Hold on. She says these stripes mean something. And he goes, I need your help. And she says, name it. He goes, can you do a bit of filing for me?
Yeah. Can you find this person for me?
Can you do a Google search?
And the character, the sharpshooter of Bill Burr is his real name.
Mayfield,
yeah. The sharpshooter that was in the Prison Break episode.
Chapter 6.
So it looks like the next episode is going to have part Prison Break again. I'm not going to say it's going to be all Prison Break because they have to lead it up to the finale of season 2. And if they do the whole episode about breaking Bill Burr's character of Mayfield out of prison, it doesn't really ramp up for we need to save the child.
Yeah.
So,
just before you go any further, do you know this bit? What you say about the next episode? It reminds me of you've never watched Rick and Morty, have you?
Oh no, I have.
Yeah, there's an episode where they go to heist convention.
Yeah.
And he goes, Rick Sanchez, you son of a bitch, I'm in. That's what's going to be next week, isn't it? The Mandalorian, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
So, yeah, we'll talk about this, about what we think will happen in the next episode in a minute. But one more scene happened.
Yes, one more.
The brutality of the Empire. We saw it, and we will never forget the baby handcuffs. Tell us what happens in that scene. We start by seeing Gideon.
Moff Gideon walks into the prison cell in the detention block, and there's 2 stormtroopers being strangled, being chucked around, up and down, left and right, side to side, by little baby Grogu. He's using the Force to his abilities to absolutely wreck these 2 stormtroopers. And the stormtrooper behind Moff Gideon says, "Shall I stun him?" And he goes, "Oh, no, just let him carry on."
He wants to see the power.
Set to stop.
Wait.
Yeah, he wants to see it, doesn't it? And of course, he eventually drops the stormtroopers, and then of course Gideon walks over to him and says, "Oh, you poor baby."
You sleepy? Does that make
you
you
sleepy?
You've gotten very good with that. But it makes you oh so sleepy. Have you ever seen one of these? From years past.
And then pulls the dog's head and goes, "You've seen this before."
You're not ready to play with such things. Liable to put an eye out for one of these. Looks like you could use a nice long sleep. Put it in shackles.
Grogu was reaching out for it, and he says, "I would lose an eye if I gave you this," or something.
Yeah.
And then they go, "Stun him now!"
Stun him! Yeah, time for a little nap.
They stun Grogu and put some handcuffs on him.
Yeah, they say cuff him. And he just happened to have baby cuffs. I was like, how small are they?
To be fair, they have been chasing him. They have been chasing the child now for a long time. So they should at least have the baby cuffs ready for the time is right.
Yeah.
You know?
They should have, yeah, to be fair.
And one of the final things that Gideon said was, send a message to Dr. Pershing saying that the donor is ready.
When we come out of hyperspace, send an encrypted message to Dr. Pershing. Let him know we have got our donor.
Yes, sir.
And now for... should we do the ratings of the episode or the speculation for the next episode?
Let's do ratings first.
How would you rate it?
I would rate this a 9.5. It was everything. Apart from the Razor Quest, that first scene with the slave one coming in, then Boba being the badass that we always knew he was, redeemed, and then the tragedy of the ship. And then the tragedy of losing the child. It was immense. Loved it. I just loved it. Even though the episode was really, really short, thinking about it, Chris, gives me goosebumps. And that goes a long way, mate.
I've kept my scores very small. For me, this is a 10 out of 10. This is perfect. This episode had everything that I look for. And the fan service, the music, the story, the direction... It was perfect. Except for one or two, nitpicky things you could say. It had everything. And this was 10 out of 10 in my eyes. Perfect.
10 out of 10. Amazing. I'm surprised you rated it so high. Really, yeah.
What can I say? Boba Fett's pretty cool.
We knew he was going to be back. The old lurker. We knew he was going to be back.
So, okay. So, predictions for next week. We'll start with 2 things. I want to hear 2 predictions on 2 things.
Okay.
The first one is the team up. If you're gonna break out baby Grogu, who are you bringing? And then the second one is what will have happened to Grogu when the Mandalorian gets there. And that's more maybe a prediction for the final episode in 2 weeks. Who's the team you would bring to break out Grogu.
Right, he's definitely going to bring Bill Burr back. Yeah. He's definitely going to bring back Clancy Brown's character. You know, the guy with the horns.
You think
was
so?
Also, yes, absolutely. Clancy Brown, the old Coogan. Yeah, got to bring him back. Now, the next episode is directed by Rick Famuyiwa.
He directed the
episode of The Prisoner.
The Prisoner, yes.
Yes, he did. So that tells me that it's going to be a team up. It's going to be Storm the Castle. You know, we've done this episode was Capture the Flag. We're now going to do Storm the Castle episode, where the Mandalorian is going to get his kick-ass team together and they're going to get the baby. Yeah, he's going to take Cara Dune with him. He's going to take Mayfield. But I do think they might go down the line of that, bringing back some of the original bounty hunters from The Empire Strikes Back. Do you know how you had that lineup of the original bounty hunters? You had Boba, you had IG-88, you had Dengar, you had Forlom, and I can't remember who the last one is. I think they might grab some of them, bring some of these original aliens back. So how cool would it be if we got some of the Empire Strikes Back bounty hunters back? I do. That's my prediction.
That'd be pretty cool. But myself, I'm going for a modest crew. I'm going for Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
A few of her team.
Yeah.
Boba Fett, Finnick, and Mayfield. And that says all. And that's as many I think will come.
And Rick Sanchez.
Ahsoka may be the wild card in my eyes of, you know, keeping it close to the books. Ahsoka may be the wild card.
Well, now you've just said that, she's looking for Thrawn, and Moff Gideon is working for Thrawn. So
or is he? Who knows?
Well, it looks like it's all pointing. It's all going to come to a head, where where they're all going to converge.
I think, and this is okay. So this is going to be a question. Do you think the hard-hitting points of this season are over? You know, the gut-wrenching, you know, the good parts, the bad parts, you know, or do you think it's building up to a big finale, two-episode finale?
Okay. You know, I'd be so interested. I just wish they would update it. So I'd like to know how big the final episode is, because the last couple have been really short, haven't they?
They're building up to something big. Okay. Do you think a lot of the story of the final episodes will come in episode 9 and not 10? Because you tend to see that in TV shows. They tend to do a lot of the big story arcs in episode 9 and then kind of clean up in 10.
Well, considering that the next episode would be... you got... there's only 8 episodes in this
season. There's 2 more episodes left. Yeah. 2
more, yeah.
I'd say 9 and 10, I just mean the last 2.
Yeah, the last 2, yeah. The penultimate
and the ultimate.
Yeah. The 7 and 8 are going to be literally one big episode that's going to literally roll straight into the next one.
Okay, so there's one character that I want to ask about before I say what I think, is Dr. Pershing. Do you think Dr. Pershing can be redeemed? Do you think he will carry out what needs to be done on Grogu, or will try and stop it?
I think he will probably stop it. I think he was redeemed because remember when the Mandalorian didn't kill him, he was like, please, 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 the baby, take, you know, he was really begging for his life. He didn't want to really see the child hurt, did he? And he said, we only need bits and bobs, you know, a bit of blood from him. And I think that's why they did not take a lot. You know what I mean? Because most of them just would have said, just chain him up, we'll take every single bit of DNA off him.
Personally, and I'm going down the gut-wrenching route, we will see Grogu get killed in episode 9. Episode 8. 7. Sorry, 7. End of episode 7, when... either end of episode 7 or end of episode 8, or round about there, when Din finally gets to Grogu, he will have died from the Empire. Because at this point, you know, I love Grogu's character, but the Empire are not very bad guys. Yes, they are bad guys. They're not very many bad things to get their status. And I think if they're truly going to set up...
Hold on. They've not really done anything to put their status. They blew up Alderaan.
Yeah,
right? They blew up Jadir.
I mean, in the Mandalorian TV show.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay,
the Mando goes, I hate the Empire, but they've never really truly done anything to him.
To him, no, yeah.
You know, and Gideon...
In fact, he's probably done jobs for him.
Yeah, and Gideon, he's a bad guy, but he's not really done anything bad yet. Like, you know, he's not really done anything that's like, oh my god, that is ruthless. And maybe we'll never see that, because the thing that brings me back to that is, it's called, I think it's called the box cutter. It's the box cutter scene in Breaking Bad. That scene showed you how menacing Gus was in Breaking Bad, and I feel that moment has not happened yet to Moff Gideon, and I feel like it will happen. Yeah. And that moment will either happen to one of two people, in my eyes, Dr. Pershing or Grogu. I'm not sure which one.
I think that Dr. Pershing will probably sacrifice his life to save Grogu, because we've got to remember that Dr. Pershing, his outfit makes him a doctor from the cloning base of Kamino, where they from Attack of the Clones. Now, would you say, Chris, that because they want the Midichlorians? Do you think they are? Because it's Disney. It is Disney. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, do you think they're trying to lay the seeds for Snoke here? Like, you know, because we found out that Snoke was a clone, really.
I don't want to go too deep into it. I think we'll see where it goes. At this point in my mind, Gideon wants power. In my eyes, he wants power. If Thrawn is out there and he's not working with Thrawn, he is trying to consolidate the Imperial remnants for himself. That's what I believe at this point. You know,
but they're all backstabbers, isn't they? Really?
Yeah, Thrawn is a different bad guy to Gideon. And if Gideon thinks Thrawn is a competitor, Gideon's gonna try and do everything he can to make sure he comes out on top. You know?
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Because even in the Star Wars Squadrons game, right? You're doing something for the Empire, you're playing as the Empire, and another remnant of the Empire comes in, and you get told to basically destroy its weapons so it couldn't destroy the rebel targets you're following. So this is one part of the Empire attacking another part of the Empire after the fall of, the Battle of Endor. So, to me, Gideon's one thing, Thrawn is a completely different thing. And we're going to see two different remnants. I do not 100% believe they are working together. Do not. 100%. I don't believe it. Because Thrawn likes to be... Thrawn is not necessarily likes to be the top dog, but Gideon likes to be right. Gideon likes to be the top dog. Could Thrawn go under Gideon? That's a different question. Maybe. But Gideon wants power. I think Grogu... I think it's sad to say, and it will be the gut wrencher that we'll see on TV, but I think Grogu's time has came to almost the end. And I believe episode 7, they won't show it. They won't show anything. I think we'll see everything retrospectively from Din's eyes in terms of Grogu. And, that's my prediction as...
it's good. Sounds really good. I like it.
Only because, as I said, they're not going to defeat Gideon this season, and that would just set up why. At this point, why does Din want to take out, Gideon? Well, he's done a few bad things and tried to kill him a few times, sure, and tried to take the child, but if we was to set up a plot for season 3, it would be the revenge of Grogu and Gideon.
Yeah.
You know, that it's sad. You know, even thinking about that, I know in my head, my partner will cry. My partner will hate it. You'll hate it, you know.
Yeah.
But to me, if they were truly like, look, we're gonna really shake everything up in season 3. They blew up the Razor Crest, and if they really want to like shake the bee's nest, I think that's how you do it for season 3. I really do.
Yeah. So I like it.
I hope to be wrong. Because I really do like Grogu myself.
Well, the other thing I wanted to ask you, Chris, is who do you think Grogu reached out to in the Force?
I think that may be a question that goes unanswered. I honestly think. Or we could see a wild card of another Jedi. Maybe not Ahsoka. Maybe another one. Such as, I don't know much into the character, but Alex, to what I understand, was a Jedi that was helping Luke Skywalker. I think he's Legends material at this point.
I don't know anything about that dude. But he's a comic character.
Yeah, but people have said this may be a character that turns up. So back to my team, you know, to break out Grogu. A Jedi is the wild card. You know, we're going to have Bo-Katan. We're going to have Mayfield. I don't think we'll have anyone else from the prison team. Because at this point, you're then going to do 4 prison breakouts, you know? They would have said, I need Mayfield, this guy, and this guy, you know?
Yeah. Would it be weird if they got Commander Rex as well? So you got Morrison playing Boba as well as Rex at the same time.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. I would squeal and lose a bit of wee if that happened.
So Pershing, and in terms of my other wild card, is Dr. Pershing. He is part of Gideon's Imperial Remnants. Will he either try to save the child's life or take the child's life? I am unsure of it at this point. But I think it's gonna it's gonna happen because, and this is the other thing that we could talk about all day, and I'm sure we could. And obviously this is something short to think about, is that at the end of the day, does Grogu have a place in, you know, 3, 4, 5 more seasons of The Mandalorian? You know, because they're already talking about the kid needs training, you know?
Yeah.
The kid needs training, or or someone needs to train him, and the Mandalorian's not the man to do that.
Yeah.
And I think instead of sending him away, I think they're going to kill him. And that breaks my heart, but that's my theory.
That's very dark. That's very dark, Chris.
The Empire are dark. The Empire did kill a lot of Jedis in Order 66, so, you know.
Dark Empire comes around. Wow, that is we're gonna have to cut it short here compared to the last one. Me and you could absolutely go on and on and on about this episode. There is one thing I did think when the Razor Quest got destroyed is all those people, including myself, that have just sank that money in for the Razor Quest model. And now they could send us just a hole in the ground. There you go.
Wow. It's because they're going to send you... It's because in Season 3 there's going to be a new Razor Crest.
Oh, Razor Quest A.
2.
Yeah.
The Razor Quest, the second quest.
I'll be interested now. I'll be really interested to see what comes up. Interested.
The final theory is Boba Fett loses his life and gives the Slave One to Mandalorian.
Oh my god! And the first thing he's going to do is paint it silver. I don't like the colour. I'm going to paint it silver.
Well, yeah. That's it from this episode.
It's been a great one. I was really looking forward to getting your views on this one, Chris. What an episode! What an episode! It was so good, so good. So, Chris, where can the listeners get a hold of you?
You can find me on Twitter. My username is BurnedChris.
Yeah, that's cool. And if you want to show your love for this show, then look hold your cool. Then head over to TeePublic and get your official Radio Free Endor t-shirts, hoodies and masks. Also stickers, mugs, key rings and the mouse mats are all there, available on TeePublic right now. And I'm actually designing some new logos. And you can see the new logo that I'm experimenting with actually on the cover picture for this podcast. And also iTunes is the best place to download this show. And while you're there, leave us a 5-star review. It'd be absolutely fantastic. You can reach out to us on social media, so search for us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. We are at Radio Free Endor. You can find me at Jamie_R_Burns. And our email is radiofreeendor@gmail.com. So that just leaves me to say thanks for tuning in. Keep listening, and we'll see you again next week for episode 7 of The Mandalorian. So, see you later.
Bye.
Robert Rodriguez.
So he goes down, and it's not only Tremeza Morrison. I can't even say his name. Tresma Morrison.
Do you know what? I actually practice his name, and I like Tamaya Morrison. Tamaya Morrison.
Standing there.
Yeah, but Slave One's after him.
Slave One, Boba Fett, and then the moment of recognition comes in, where Din looks at the crater of the Razor Crest. But yeah, Slave One returned and took, I forgot his name now. Din.
Yeah. Right, he's going to take Cora Dune. Oh man, why is Star Wars name so hard to pronounce?